We try to fill the heart's hunger with things, and the things that we have can't touch the heart, so the emptiness inside grows. Today's episode is going to be a little different. We're going to talk about caring for the earth, but not just through statistics, headlines, or political arguments. Today, I want to approach it through something older and, honestly, more confronting, a Vedic lens.
For soul's sake, for soul's sake.
Not because the Vedas replace science, but because they ask a question that science often doesn't ask. That question is, what is the consciousness behind the crisis? Because you can clean a river, granted, but if you don't clean the heart that polluted it, that river will get dirty again. So I want to begin not with a chart, but with a story. There's a verse from the Bhagavad Gita that says a truly learned person sees with equal vision a saintly person, equally a worker, equally an elephant, equally a cow, equally a dog. And not because they look the same externally, they don't obviously, but because the wise person sees the Atma, the soul, within each living being. And this becomes the foundation for how we treat the world. Because climate change, let's face it, isn't just an environmental crisis. It's a compassion crisis. It's a consciousness crisis. It's a relationship crisis with each other, with other species, with the earth, and with God. Now here's a line that really hits. You ready for it? Sometimes we are compassionate only towards what is relevant to me. In the West, many people treat their dog like family. And honestly, that's beautiful. But it becomes confusing when someone will fiercely protect their dog and then go home and eat cows, lambs, chickens without a second thought. Because the Vedic tradition asks, is my compassion expanding, or is my compassion selective? Because selective compassion is still compassion, yes, but it also is mixed with selfishness. Real compassion becomes inclusive. It's meant to grow beyond my people, my animals, and my tribe. It becomes life is sacred and the earth is sacred. We are incredibly intelligent. We build as human beings. We invent, we expand, we produce, we dig and dig and dig. Progress, progress, progress. And yet sometimes we don't realize that our very solutions can become our monsters. There's a famous story in the West about Frankenstein. The scientist wants to do something noble by creating life and helping the world, but because he meddles with nature without seeing the whole picture, he creates something that terrorizes him. And from a Vedic perspective, this is what happens when human ambition outruns wisdom. We create technologies, we create industries, sometimes with good intention. But without understanding the laws of nature, without understanding responsibility, we create reactions that go beyond our control. Pollution in rivers, toxic air, greenhouse gases, plastics, and chemicals in oceans. And the Bhakti tradition scriptures would say, yes, these are external symptoms, but the root of all of that, the root is inside. The Vedic perspective goes to the essential cause. It says that the underlying cause of ecological pollution is polluted consciousness. Not humanity's evil, let's not get that wrong, but rather the mind is polluted by greed, by toxic desire, by the illusion that happiness comes from desiring more stuff, more status, more consumption, more control. And the problem with greed is it can never really be satisfied. You can satisfy hunger, you can satisfy thirst, but greed burns like fire. The more you feed it, the more it demands. And so we keep taking from the earth, not because we need it, but because our inner emptiness is demanding it. Here's a truth that quietly changes everything. Satisfaction is not a thing of the flesh. Satisfaction is not even a thing of the mind. Satisfaction is a thing of the heart. And the heart doesn't want to get fulfilled by objects. The heart only gets fulfilled by love, by meaningful relationships, by purpose. by connection. And so ultimately, the Bhakti scriptures tell us that our deepest nature is to love God. And in that loving of the Supreme, we see every living being as part of Krishna. We naturally become caring, we naturally become responsible and gentle. And when we forget that, we try to fill the heart's hunger with things. And the things that we have can't touch the heart, so the emptiness inside grows. And we try to fill it with more stuff, more consumption. And that's the cycle. That's the cycle of chewing up the planet. The solution? It's not be miserable. I know this has been a little bit difficult to hear. It's not reject the world. It's live simply, think deeply, not unnecessary necessities. A culture where we take what we need and we honor what we take and we replenish what we take. Because the earth is not a warehouse. It's not an Amazon warehouse. The earth is described as mother, one of 7 mothers. She feeds us, she holds us, she provides air, water, grains, fruit. And so we learn that if you exploit your mother, you don't call that progress. You call it what it is, degradation. So environmentalism from this lens becomes devotional service. Not just saving the future, but honoring sacred energy, honoring the gifts of God, of our mother. In the Ramayana, Ravan wants to exploit Sita for his own enjoyment. And Hanuman wants to serve Sita Devi in harmony with Ram's will. Now expand that symbolism. Sita Devi is described as emerging from the earth and returning to the earth. Bhumi, Mother Earth, is sacred feminine potency. So the bhakti question becomes, am I living like Ravan, or trying to exploit Mother Earth for my own pleasure? Or am I becoming like a small Hanuman, protecting and honoring and serving in harmony with God? This isn't just climate change. This is a war of consciousness, a shift from exploitation to stewardship, from mine to sacred. Now, I know someone will say, so what you're telling me is that chanting and bhakti solves climate change. Not alone, but without that inner purification, nothing becomes sustainable. You can create policies, you can make laws, you can clean oceans, but if greed remains untouched, we will pollute again. So the Vedic path says, work externally, yes, but also purify internally. Because the real source of pollution is polluted desire. And one of the simplest cleansing agents given in this age is the chanting of the holy name. There's a verse from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, Chaito Darpana Marjanam. The chanting cleans the mirror of the heart. And as the mirror becomes clean, we begin to see things more clearly. That we're not proprietors, we are caretakers. We are not isolated consumers, we are connected souls. And when the heart is clean, compassion becomes natural. Contentment becomes natural. Simplicity becomes joyful, not forced. And when that happens, the entire relationship with the earth changes. Because the earth doesn't need us to be guilty. The earth needs us to be awake. So I want to leave you with something practical, not just overwhelm you. Just a gentle offering. Please ask yourself, where in my life am I taking more than I need? Not as self-hate, just awareness. And where can I simplify without losing joy? And maybe even gaining peace? Where can I expand compassion beyond what is relevant to me? Not selective compassion, but inclusive compassion. And finally, can I do one small devotional act today that cleans my inner world, so that my outer world becomes cleaner too? A few sincere rounds of japa, a prayer before eating, even offering a little to Mother Earth, like some people do, an act of gratitude, a decision to consume less, a decision to honor more. Because the bhakti solution to climate change is not simply change the planet, it's change the heart. And when the heart changes, civilizations change. Hare Krishna.
If you love this episode, you'll love my interview with Keshava Swami on serving others and how our life gets ironed out in the process. Go check it out.
When I have managed to find that selflessness, that sense of it's really not about me, but I'm really here as a servant to give, then I found two things happen. The first thing is that our ability to actually really serve others just expands exponentially.